everyone, welcome to my video. Now I want to explain about the grammar translation method. Before it, let me introduce myself. My name is Ezra Okania Sianipar from University of HKBP Nomensen Medan, Group B. What is the grammar translation method? The grammar translation method is not new. It has had different names, but it has been used by language teachers for many years. At one time, it was called the classical method since it was first used in the teaching of the classical language, Latin and Greek. Earlier in the 20th century, this method was used for the purpose of helping students to read and appreciate foreign language literature. Implementation, grammar translation in teaching English. As we enter the classroom, the class in the middle of reading a passage in their textbook. The passage is an excerpt entitled "The Boy's Ambition" from Mark Twain's Life on the Mississippi. Each student is called on to read a few lines from the passage. After he has finished reading, he is asked to translate the few lines he has just read into Spanish. The teacher helped him with new vocabulary items. When the students have finished reading and translate the passage, the teacher asks them in Spanish if they have any questions. One girl raises her hand and says, "What is pedal here?" The teacher replies, "Es uno ruedo de platos." Then she continues in Spanish to explain how it looked and worked on the steamboat which moved up and down the Mississippi River during Mark Twain's childhood. Another student says, "No understands Georgius." The teacher translates "primoroso." Since the students have no more questions, the teachers ask them to write the answer to the comprehension questions which appear at the end of the excerpt. The questions are in English, and the students are instructed to write the answer to them in English as well. They do the first one together as an example. So the next topic is reviewing the techniques. There are still some techniques from the grammar translation method that you can usefully adapt. Below is an expanded description of some of these techniques. Number 1. Translation of a literary passage. Students translate a reading passage from the target language into their native language. The reading passage then provides the focus for several cases. Vocabulary and grammatical structures in the passage are studied in subsequent lessons. Number 2 is reading comprehension questions. Students answer questions in the target language based on their understanding of the reading passage. Often the questions are sequenced so that the first group of questions asks for information contained within the reading passage. Number 3 is antonyms or synonyms. Students are given one set of words and are asked to find antonyms in the reading passage. A similar exercise could be done by asking students to find synonyms for a particular set of words. Number 4 is cognates. Students are to recognize cognates by learning the spellings or sound patterns that correspond between the language. Students are also asked to memorize words that look like cognates but have meaning in the target language that are different from those in the native language. Number 5 is deductive applications of rules. Grammar rules are presented with example. Exceptions to each rules are also noted. Once students understand a rule, they are asked to apply it to some different examples. Number 6 is fill in the blank exercise. Students are given a series of sentences with words missing. They fill in the blanks with new vocabulary items or with items of a particular grammar type, such as prepositions or verbs with different tenses. Number 7 is memorization. Students are given lists of target language vocabulary words and their native language equivalents and are asked to memorize them. Students are also required to memorize grammatical rules and grammatical paradigms such as verb conjugations. Number 8 is use words in sentences. In order to show that students understand the meaning and use of a new vocabulary item, they make up sentences in which they use the new words. Number 9 is compositions. The teachers gives the students a topic to write about in the target language. The topic is based upon some aspect of the reading passage of the lessons. Sometimes, instead of creating a composition, students are asked to prepare a passage of the reading passage. So, the conclusion about grammar translation is, you have now had an opportunity to examine the principle and some of the technique of the grammar translation method. Try to make a connection between what you have understood and your own teaching situation and belief. Do you believe that a fundamental reason for learning another language is to be able to read the literature written in the target language? Do you think it is important to learn about the target language? Should culture be viewed as consisting of literature and the fine arts? Do you agree with any of the other principles underlying the grammar translation method? Which one? Is translation a valuable exercise? Is answering reading comprehension questions of the type described her helpful? Should grammar be presented dedicatedly? Are these on any of the other techniques of the grammar translation method, ones which will be useful to you in your own teaching? Which one? So, this is the end of my presentation for today. I hope some of the points that I have conveyed today make us more understand about grammar translation method. Thank you for your attention. Keep healthy and have a nice day.